Hi, you watching my channel, Cloud Busted? Alright, suspension links are done. All 8 of them. So there's 4 for the rear, 4 for the front, because it's a 4-link front and rear. 2 uppers, 2 lowers. And these are made out of 70-75 aluminum. Typically I don't really like aluminum. I prefer steel. Aluminum is kind of weak and it's not really like abrasion resistant. But I figure in the suspension links, using 70-75 is a high quality aluminum, they should be alright. And if they break down the rotor, they become an issue, I can upgrade them later. But I think they're going to be fine. 70-75 is one of the strongest aluminums out there. It's kind of like considered an aircraft aluminum. Right here are 2 different kinds of aluminum. One on the top is like a cheap hardware store. It's very inexpensive, but also very weak. One on the bottom, 70-75 aluminum, is way stronger. Take a look. So this doesn't really bend, it flexes. I mean, I probably could bend it, but it's very strong. This stuff just bends real easy. So not only is the one on top weaker as far as bending, but also these are the suspension links. So once I cut these to length, I gotta drill and tap the ends to put the heim joints in. So with the weaker aluminum, it's way more likely to pull the threads out. So that's why I'm going to 70-75. And they're lightweight, so as long as they don't break, that's cool. It'll keep the weight down. So I got one assembled already. And these are QA1 rod ends. I went over these in an earlier video. They're just like the full-size heim joints I use on my real monster truck. The ones I use on my full-size monster truck are made by FK. These are QA1s. QA1's like second to me. I prefer FK, but if I can't get FK, I'll go QA1. I use right-hand thread and left-hand thread. So that way, once this is mounted in the chassis, you can just spin the rod for your adjustment. Otherwise, if you had right-hand thread on both ends, you'd have to unbolt the bar and spin it to adjust it. So saves a lot of time having a right and left hand thread. So the way these work, they just thread right into the bar right there, and then there's a jam nut. The only thing is I still have to get left hand thread jam nuts, because right now on the right hand thread I got them on order. They should be here any day now. So I also made these right here. These are simulated axles. They're the same dimensions as far as the link mounts go as the real axles, but I figured if I made these, I could get these mounted in and I can make like shock mounts, things like that. It makes some other components start working the steering stuff until I finish the real axles. So right now, because I only have right hand thread jam nuts, I can only put these on the right hand thread rod ends. And that's because I stock those normally. I don't normally stock left hand thread stuff, but I'm going to start from now on. You just thread that on there. Oh, that's probably left hand thread then. And those threading like that, and then what you would do, you take a wrench, lock that down, and that keeps it in place. All the links are assembled, so it's time to put these on that. One thing I want to note though, these are all the same length. Just like on the full-size monster truck, they're all the same length. So in the full-size truck, the distance from the lower link chassis to axle mount is a little bit longer than the upper. But it's okay, because what you do, you just crank them out a little bit. It's just a hair anyway. So the advantage to having all the same size links is for spares, you don't have to keep as many, and they all interchange. It makes it much easier that way. So now I'll start assembling these mock-up axles. So right there with the mock-up axles installed, you can see there's tons of travel and articulation. So this thing flexes really well. And once the shocks are on, it's going to sit about like that. And this shows you why limit straps are important, because with the weight of the axle, it'll pull it all the way down like that, and it could rip out the shock, and you don't want that. So probably not much on an RC truck, but on a full-size monster truck, so that's why you want limit straps. For now, I'll just zip tie the axles to the chassis. Right there is about where the axles will sit at ride height. If you take a look, there's a couple different holes right here. Upper mounts are adjustable. What that changes is it changes the anti-squat, anti-dive by lowering or increasing that depending on track conditions. Just extra tuning, and that's what the full-size chassis has, so I added on this. The only other thing I gotta do, I still have to add tabs on the inside and make this what's called double shear. So there's single shear and double shear. Double shear puts a tab on both sides of whatever you're mounting, in this case the suspension link. So it'll put a tab on both sides, so I want to make it double shear. That's just how I do everything. Not always necessary in an RC truck, but this thing's going to be pretty heavy and I want it to be realistic. So that's going to be one of the last things I add. I just want to make sure all the suspension joints flex as they should and work properly. And then I'll add those other mounting tabs. So that's about it for now. I'm still working on the axles. I'm just waiting. I got a new CNC mill in the works, but things are kind of delayed just because the Corona virus. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.